Good evening, everybody. How is everybody out there in Facebook land tonight? My name is Julia Green. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and you have found my Facebook Friday Live. I go live on Friday evenings. So today's been kind of a crazy day. I've been kind of all over the place today. I didn't really have a theme. Normally for my Facebook Fridays, I like to do some kind of theme. But I came up here and I tried a couple different things and nothing was really working out for me in the theme department. So we just have a bunch of different stuff tonight that I'm going to show you. And yeah, we'll just go from there. So the first thing I was just opening up my paper pumpkin. Look at this box. Isn't this pretty? This will be another one that I told you guys before. I like to display my boxes in here. It gives me a little something to decorate with. But look at this. Isn't this a fun? I think this is probably one of the prettiest ones I've seen. I love the daisies. I love the little bee. I love bees. I have downstairs where I have my tiered shelf. I have a photograph that Emily, my daughter-in-law, took for me on one of my trips, on a Stampin' Up! Trip to Utah. And we did a botanical garden, and she took a picture of a bee and had it framed for me. So I have it there. And so I have like a little bee display next to my tiered shelf. I have a couple flower pots that have bees on them. So I like bees. So this is really cute. So as always, you get your directions. I have my add-on right here. I did purchase my add-on. Look at the cute little bee framelit and the little honeycomb framelit, and I love the heart as well. And then we have our chives from our other one that we had. So this one I didn't realize, I wasn't paying attention, but it comes with 2 stamp sets. Look at these. You have this really fun honeycomb one, the daisy, a little hello, a happy birthday, sweetest birthday wishes, thank you, wishing you brighter days ahead. Enjoy your special day. We've got that bee. Look at him. Thank you for always being there for me. And then the honeycombs. And you can do the bee, do his wings a little bit different. So really cute. So we have 2 stamp sets. So that was a bargain and I mean the kits are 25 bucks. So you get 2 stamp sets. And I really like the stamp sets. I'll be creating some alternates with these, I'm sure. Hey, Patricia. Look at these envelopes. Look at these envelopes. You know me, I love to decorate our envelopes, but look at these. So these have kind of inspired me for some of my cards that I'm going to show you tonight. But look at this. They've stamped in both corners, or they have images in both corners of the envelopes and on the flaps. Look at that, huh? And so we have this one here. And then we have the blue. Isn't that pretty? I just think they're so pretty. I like the envelopes. I just think they're... And then we have our card bases. Look at our card bases. Now, when they do these card bases, and this is where a lot of people get into doing the alternates, they cut these in half. So you could use 2 of these if you already have a stash of Lemon Lolly or Daffodil Delight cardstock or Pool Party. You could use these and layer them up. We have just this one that's really pretty. It's the Pool Party. And if you look really close, it's not like solid Pool Party. So that would be really cool to cut these in half and use them as bases. And then we have all of our other stuff. Here's some more card bases. These are, they have just like a little bit of lemon lolly sponged on them, basically. Okay, look at these gold honeycombs. These are really cool. Look at these. Isn't that cool? And then all your daisies to pop out. And then all your little things for your salutations. And then, as always, that lovely piece of cardboard that, you know, I always save. And I've showed you in some of my past videos how you can make these use these as covers. And back in the day, this was chipboard, guys. So don't throw that out, because if you guys are like, you know, junk journalers or anything like that, you can use it for chipboard and cut your different shapes out with your chipboard. Okay? So that was this month's paper pumpkin. I haven't put it together yet, but it is on my list of things to do this weekend. I'm probably going to take it with me to with me. And so I'm probably going to hopefully get this done. So maybe we'll do some alternates on Sunday. So for those of you guys that follow me along, know that Sunday morning I do coffee and a card. And I have seen some beautiful alternates with that one online as well. So, oh, and the stamp that the stamp pad that comes in there, or the Stampin' Spot, is Lost Lagoon. So it's Lost Lagoon, not Pool Party, that's in there. I was telling you, Pool Party. Anyway, hello, Miss Patricia. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Sandy. How is everybody? Yeah, that paper pumpkin is so pretty, isn't it, Sandy? I think it's very pretty. So, like I said, I was just kind of flucking around up here today. I really felt like I wasn't getting anything accomplished other than when I was trying to stamp. I was just, getting things all getting kind of muddled, and I wasn't stamping good. But you know what? After I was up here for a little while, it made me feel much better. So I'm glad I came up here, and I'm so glad that you guys are with me tonight. So one of the things I wanted to show you, I think in here, actually, let's just go ahead and get stamping. I know there's a couple things in there I want to show you, but I don't think it goes with this first card. So I've been kind of trying to show you guys some things that, I think might not be carrying over because they've been in the catalog. You all know that the in colors are going to leave us. We've got some new ones coming. I have seen them. And if you saw my post yesterday asking about what your favorite in color was, I have to tell you, this happens to me every year when they announce the new in colors. I look at some of them and I'm like, what am I going to do with that? And one of them that I did that with when these came out, my fold wasn't right where it should be, so I'm fixing it. One of these that was that way when it first came out was this Wild Wheat. I was like, okay, what am I going to do with that? But since then, I have really come to really, really like this Wild Wheat a lot. Okay, so my card base tonight is, yeah, as I totally, sorry about that, something fell and I had to grab it. So my card base tonight is Basic Beige. And I just wanted to mention Basic Beige with these outgoing in colors. Basic Beige goes really well with all these colors. It goes great with all 5 of them. So if you don't have a little Basic Beige in your stash, you might want to grab that. I have embossed the Wild Wheat with the Fern embossing folder. This guy's been around for a while, so you know what? He could be one that we will be saying goodbye to. So if you're like me and you like botanicals, you're going to want him in your stash. So one of the things that I tell a lot of people when they're getting started is to just stick to stamps, ink, and paper. And so the next thing I usually tell people to add, oh, look at me, I'm going to put it on upside down. See what I mean? Today I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just not with it today. So I apologize. One of the things that I always tell people that is a really great investment that's really going to make your cards stand out and pop your cards up is embossing folders. And so you can see that could have just been a regular old layer of Wild Wheat, but now we've added that fern to it and it just takes it to a whole nother level. So stamp set I decided to grab was Inspirational Sketches. This is one of my favorites. I love this. This looks like Rudbeckia to me. I love the mushrooms. And I love this cute little darling bird. He is adorable. So this is one that will be staying in my collection because I like everything in it. I have been really sorting out my collection and going through some stamps and getting rid of some. So I feel like I'm accomplishing that. I've got a new shelf in my office where I'm putting ones that I'm keeping for now, but then I'm going to bring them on back in here and have a different selection. So we're going to stamp the mushrooms, of course, because I really like the mushrooms. And this time of year around here, we get lots of rain. We had a little snow this morning on my drive home. It had dropped a little cold. It wasn't anything crazy. My dad used to call snow this time of year poor man's fertilizer because it has a ton of nitrogen in it and it'll make the grass and everything really turn green. So I'm going to take the thank you for everything, and I'm going to stamp that right over top of my, oh, so I did my mushrooms in gray granite, and then I'm doing the words in Pebble Path. So for me, Pebble Path and gray granite are the lighter and darker version. So if you've got some Pebbled Path, you're going to want to have some gray granite, because I just think they pair really well together, and they do that whole lighter and darker version of them. Oops, I'm going to leave that open because I'm going to show you what else I did. So we're going to put some in. We're going to put some dimensionals on the back of this nice big circle. This circle is from the Spotlight on Nature. This is one of the circles from that. I love the dies. The circle dies with that. They all have a really cool pattern around the outside of the circle. So again, that adds to it. But these are all things that you can add as you're going along after you start with your stamps, ink, and paper, right? All right, I didn't put it right in the center. I kind of have it over to one side. I'm going to grab my mushrooms. I'm going to stamp them in the gray granite for the inside. And we're going to stamp them right in here on the gray granite. With the gray granite. Look at those. Aren't they cool, the mushrooms? I think they're really cool. And then we need an envelope. And this time I'm going to stamp over here. I was inspired by this month's Paper Pumpkin to kind of go crazy with my envelopes. So this time I'm stamping over on that side. I could stamp the mushrooms maybe just on the corner of the let's do that. Let's grab a scrap piece of paper. Let's stamp those mushrooms up again, and I'm going to put them just so they're like in the corner of the flap. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So a little inspiration from this month's Paper Pumpkin. All right, now I wanted to put some embellishments on this guy. So let's bring him out. Oops, we got to stamp. We got to stamp the corner of this envelope. This is my sample I was working off of. So cute. I was going to use some of the twine that comes in the in colors, but I decided not to. Instead, I went through my bling, and I came up with a couple packages of bling that I thought kind of went with what I was working with. So I like these. These are the adhesive back textured dots, and they're in like kind of a brass color. So I really like those. And then I really liked the faux glass dots because that kind of looks like the mustard color to me there. So I'm not really sure. Or I could just go crazy and put the green on there. Not really sure which ones. I think I'm going to go with these. Put those over there out of my way. So let's turn these over. And I'm just going to do 3. I'm going to do 1, 2, and then a bigger one. These come in 2 different sizes. There's big ones and smaller ones. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3. All right. So there you have it. There's that one. And like I said, that would be pretty simple card, but by adding that embossing folder, I can't tell you how much I really love embossing folders and how much I really think for the investment, they really add so much to your cards. And there's our little envelopes, and we have a little inspiration from the Paper Pumpkins. All right, that was my first card. Let me clean up my mess. And we'll grab my second card. Let me just get this out of the way here. I cannot tell you how many piles I have going in here. I have lots of projects all over the place. All right, so my next one we are going to, I thought I would use up this package of the Frames and Flowers 12 by 12 DSP specialty paper. This is in the beginning of the catalog where they have all the kits and everything. Let me see, I think I have, yes, right here. It's called Wrap It Up. And so this was really fun. It's got a bunch of these like ephemera. Whoops, ephemera. Let me back it up a little bit. My catalog say. There we go. So it has a bunch of the ephemera down here in the bottom. But it came with 3 sheets of DSP, front and back. And I had a little bit of it left. I went and I grabbed out the Poised Peony. Because a lot of this stuff I think is going to change. That's in the beginning of the catalog. A lot of the ephemera packs and all that stuff I really think are going to, obviously I think they're going to change. Oh, and see what I mean about getting stamped? I had ink all over my fingers earlier with one of the cards I was working on, and it was kind of driving me crazy because I couldn't figure out where it was on my hands, and it kept coming up on different pieces of paper and stuff, and I was like, okay, where is it? Well, come to find out, it was right there on the end of my thumb, and it's Melon Mambo. So I was getting Melon Mambo like everywhere. It was driving me crazy. All right, so for this one, we are using Petal Pink and Calypso Coral. To me, those are the light and dark version of those. So I like to use those two together. Here's a sheet of that paper. We're going to layer that onto a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then we have 4 by 5 1/4. And there's the other side, very pretty. Oh, what I wanted to show you about this is they really emphasized a lot in this catalog about the color wheel. So the color wheel is back here on pages 132, and there's an explanation on 133 about the color wheel. But what I didn't notice until just today, I had this like complete and total aha moment, was there in certain pages on certain parts of the catalogs, they showed you what they did with the color wheel. So on this one right here, you can see the little tiny picture of the color wheel up there. So they showed you where they came up with this color combination for this particular, it's not really a suite, maybe you could call it a bundle. So I thought that was kind of neat. And so somebody who's had the catalog in her hands for a really long time, it was an aha moment for me. So that's what I mean about our catalogs. Our catalogs are really just a really great reference. Whoops, wrong one, Jewel. So if you don't have one of our catalogs and you want one, if you've just been doing all your ordering and stuff online, but you really want one, just let me know, because I do have some available. If you don't have a demonstrator that you've already gotten one from, I'd be happy to help you out with that and get one in your hands. All right, my little extra strip is going on the inside, just like that. Now we have, this piece is 2 3/4 by 4, and this is 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. We're going to grab the Peony stamp. We are going to grab Calypso Coral. So when I have a bigger stamp like this, and this stamp, you are going to need a bigger block. This stamp is on block, oh boy, is it E? Yes, block E. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Go through your stamps and make sure you have the right size blocks for everything, because you really don't want to not have the right size blocks when you're stamping. Okay, we just stamped it all in one color. We grabbed the hello, and I stamped the hello right over here in this corner, just like that. And it kind of looks like, to me, it looks like the artist drew it and then just wrote hello down there in the corner. The artist was not me. Especially today. Whew, boy, am I off. All right, now But I'm glad I toughed it out and didn't give up. Because I did get some things accomplished up here. So that was good on my part. All right. We've layered that. Now we're just going to layer this right on the front. And I didn't do any popping up this time. I just did simple layers. Right in the middle, I grabbed my brass butterflies. And I did a big one down here. And I did a little one up here. And I did a little one over here. Now, let's decorate some envelopes and the inside. So I'm going to clean this off. I even cleaned my cleaning pad earlier because I thought that's where I was picking up the ink from, and I just could not figure out where the ink was coming from. Did you notice those before, Sandy? Those little color wheels on the pictures, on the pages? I had never noticed them before. All right, so I am stamping Pretty in Pink on top of Pretty in Pink. And I'm just going to do right there. And you still could write right over top of it. But isn't that pretty? And it just adds a little something, something. Here's my sample. I'm going to bring my sample in. Hopefully I got ink on everything. The reason why a lot of times I end up inking my big ones like this is because then I know that I got the whole thing covered with ink. All right, and then we're going to stamp that right in the center. Just the like of that. Now we need some envelopes. Now, I'm going to bring in, what did I do with my scrappy paper? I had scrappy paper. Where did it go? There it is. All right, let's grab the scrappy paper. Let's grab my envelope. Oops, I should have two, yep. So on this one, I'm going to do the flower coming up out of the corner there. And then we're going to do the same thing on the tab on the opposite side. Whoops, I am shaking the camera all over the place. Sorry, guys. Whoops, I got a little circle on that one. It's because I felt myself pushing it a little too hard. I'm getting ink around the edges. So this time, let's try it. I won't push as hard. There, we didn't get it on that time, but we did get it on this one. My little ring around the stamp, I call it. That's okay. I'll use that one. All right. So, again, some envelopes inspired by that paper pumpkin. How fun is that, right? All right, let's put this up here. Now, what did I do with... What did I do with that one? All right, let's do this. Let's do this one. This was the one that I ended up getting the Pretty in Pink or the Melon Mambo on my fingers and couldn't figure out where I was getting it from. So let's load up what I need here. And let's unload what I don't need. This is a new stamp that's on the that's online. So again, don't forget to check out those online exclusives. There's always a bunch of really good stuff on the online exclusives. There's a bunch of really cool kits right now, all kinds of fun things, and a whole bunch of stuff at the beginning of the month dropped for the online exclusives. And one of them was this stamp that we're going to use called You Are Remarkable. All right, let me get myself straightened out and organized here. There's my sample. This one you're also going to need some bigger blocks because the stamps are bigger. This is what we always used to call two-step stamping. They don't really refer to that anymore on here. They used to mark it right on here and say it was two-step stamping. But it's You Are Remarkable. And like I said, I liked the sentiments. Friends are flowers in the garden of life. That was the whole reason I think I bought the stamp set. All right, don't forget, 6x6 all our colored papers are going to be getting discontinued. These particular patterns, they will come out probably with new patterns. We are using Melon Mambo, and so that piece of DSP, I'm using the stripes. I love this pattern on the back. I love the floral pattern on this one. So it's kind of a whimsical floral pattern, which I really like a lot. All right, we're going to put this right across the middle. I am using the Whisper White heavy cardstock or thick cardstock. I'm adding this strip on the inside. Just the look of that. Now, let me grab, this will be interesting if I can do black without getting it everywhere. Let me stamp my sentiment first. Where's my scrap paper? My ink pads, my black ones, for some reason, some areas are getting dried out and other areas are kind of juicy. And I'm not really sure what I'm doing wrong, but when I'm redoing them. Yep, I don't like the way that one came out. Good thing I cut myself another piece. I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to rub it first and then tap. Now remember, our black is not like the rest of our pads. It's not in the case where it's kept upside down. I do keep mine upside down, however. There we go. Now, while I have this black out, I'm going to do the outline of the flower. Now, when I bought this set, I thought this set complemented, and I don't know if it's supposed to or not, I haven't read that it did, this month's Paper Pumpkin, because I liked this big giant daisy shape. So, I'm not sure if it is supposed to complement it or not, but that's why I bought it, because I thought this stamp would go really nicely with the other stamps. All right. Let me grab the rest of these. And we're gonna, let's layer this onto the black. Set that over there. All right, let's give this a shot. Now, I meant to grab my foam mat because this is a photopolymer set, and I did find that earlier today when I used the foam mat it worked much better. But this is where I got the Melon Mambo on my finger and then proceeded to get it all over everything. It was on every card I was touching, and come to find out it was right there on the end of my thumb. Okay, now these the shade in stamps are shaded as well. They're not solid. They have a little shading going on, which I think is really kind of neat too. Ooh. All right, Granny Apple for the leaves. Let's see if I can line this up. Granny Apple for the win. Perfect. Much better than this afternoon. All right, now this little guy that looks like a jelly bean, which I think he's pretty cute. He is the center of the flower, so we're going to do him a little daffodil. Perfect. Now, the pièce résistance of this stamp set is this cute little bee with the little buzz line. He is the cutest. So we did him right up here in the corner of my flower. And he is stinking cute. So again, that's another reason why I thought it kind of blended with this month's Paper Pumpkin. But let me see if I can find him on here. So there's also the little polka dots, but see the little jelly bean shape? Isn't he kind of cute? But look at the little bee. Can you guys see him? Whoops. Whoops, wrong way. Isn't he cute? He made the stamp set worthwhile for sure. All right. Oh, there's a little Max hair. I'm surprised Max isn't up here. I'm surprised he doesn't hear me talking and wonder what's going on. What's going on, Mom? All right, we're going to mount this guy right on there. So we've mounted that right about there. Okay, and then dimensionals on the back of this guy. And we're going to put him right about there. Okay, and then we have our cute little, these you guys know are my favorite. These are the Sparkle Gems. They are just my favorite. So I did 3 of these up here, 3 of the big ones, the black sparkly. Okay. And then the black baker's twine, a piece of this. And I'm gonna cut a piece off. We're gonna double it. We did a little double bow. Look at the, you guys see the melon mambo all over my fingers? That was from earlier. And it was just, I couldn't believe, like, I was chasing it around trying to figure out where it was all coming from, and it was driving me crazy. All right, we're going to cut that end off, cut that one in half, grab myself. Yeah, isn't that cute? It's definitely a jelly bean shape. Be very cute to use for an Easter card. All right, so there's my little bow in there. So then here was my sample. Here's that one. So then I was like, okay, I need something to stamp on the inside or something to stamp on my envelope. And I went to this, Choose Happy. This is another stamp set that's in the front that has, look at all the, oops, sorry, I'm bouncing all over the place. Look at all the words. So I kind of call it word salad. So you could mix all those words. You could do all different kinds of sentiments. You have choose and happy in the script. And then you have a whole bunch of holidays and all different kinds of things. And then you have all these fun, cute little images. And look at the little bunny. But more so, look at the little bee. All right. Does it remind you of the bee in this stamp set? It does me. So, cute little penguin. Where's my little bee? There's my little bee. As you can see, Julie has not used this stamp set yet. So this was a challenge for me today too, was to find a stamp set that I hadn't used. And so we did. All right, let's see if I can get this black ink to cooperate. But we're gonna stamp a little bee on the inside here. Oh boy, pretty cute. All right. And another one over here on this one. Now, let's grab a couple of envelopes. So we're going to do, let's get up here where you can see me. So we're going to do a little bee down here in the corner like we always, my normal corner that I usually do. All right. Let's do a little bee in this corner. And then let's do a bee in the center of the flap. How cute. Now I have to get the set. Sorry, Sandy. Which set? The one with the bee and the bunny? I know, I can't wait to use that little bunny. He is very cute. I also like the apple. It's a cute one. You got pumpkins. You can make a little jack-o'-lantern. Pretty cute stamp set. All right, now I need to give we need a little daffodil marker, because we need to give my little bees a little something here. Love the saying on this card. Yeah, me too, Chelsea. The whole reason I bought the stamp set. All right, we're going to color in our little bees. And so they look like little striped honeybees. All right. And then this one. So you got quite the potpourri with me today. I just kind of went all over the place. I have one more card for you. The other thing I'm going to do is a little Wink of Stella on the bee's wings. Oh, and that just pops. I don't know if you guys can see that because of my not so good lighting in here. But it's pretty cute with the Wink of Stella on his wings. Okay, so a little Wink of Stella on his wings. And I think I might do, yep, the little Wink of Stella on the wings on the envelopes. I was wondering, because sometimes the Wink of Stella, the envelopes are a different, they're made differently than the cardstock. They're not as porous. They actually have like a shiny finish to them, and sometimes it bleeds a little bit more on the envelopes than it does on the cardstock, but it's not bleeding. So we've got bumblebees with cute little Wink of Stella wings, which is very cute. All right, so yeah, I'm so glad I finally am. I feel like I'm moving now. I feel like I'm moving and a grooving. All right, I got one more card for you, and I'll tell you, this was where I was going today. So pretty soon, outside here anyway, the grass will be green and trees will start budding out, and all of our fruit trees will bud out with these beautiful little pink white flowers. Most of them have little pink white flowers. The dogwood trees, what made me think of this was I was pruning dogwoods the other day, and I know that just a short matter of time they'll be budding out. And I actually brought a few little of my things that I trimmed off the dogwoods home to see if I could force the blossoms. So I have them in a vase downstairs. But this is where I was going. So I wanted to do some cards with some branches with some pink flowers on them. And I did come up with one, but then I was struggling to come up with anything else. So I'm going to show you the one that I came up with. And of course we have this fun kit that's called Cherry Blossoms. Then this was another inspiration because the cherry blossoms, different around here, different places will be having festivals, cherry blossom festivals. Washington, D.C. has one. That's probably the biggest one in the country where you can go see all the cherry blossoms in Washington. But anyway, so that was where I was going. So that was kind of like my inspiration for today. So I was like, okay. So I'm going to use the Delightful Wishes stamp set, which the paper and everything for this has all been yellow. So that's been, what everybody's been kind of doing with that. But I'm going to go with a pink version. Okay. And then I grabbed the Simply Said Salutation set. This is such a good one to have in your little toolbox because it just covers everything, and it'll cover a lot of it. And again, this one was I've been waiting for that kit to come available again. Which kit, Sandy? Which one? Oh, the daisies or the Delightful Wishes? All right. So I went ahead and whoops. I'm putting my sample over there that I follow. All right. So I went ahead. This one's going to be pretty quick and easy because I have all the pieces pretty much put together. So we're going to start with a piece of crumb cake, and we're doing what I call an easel card. So you're going to cut it at 4 1/4 down through the middle and then fold that in half. I grabbed a piece of Country Woods DSP. This is probably another one of my favorite DSPs. It's so neutral and it makes some really great backgrounds, and it's just some rustic looking wood, most of it. So this one is kind of like a board, like an old barn board that's kind of got like whitewash. So we're just going to go ahead and, and we're going to, here it is. Whew. What did I do with my Stampin' Seal? Thank you guys for sticking it out with me tonight, because I am definitely all over the place. I hope you guys are getting some inspiration. So, the cherry blossoms. Yeah, that set went quick, and then they haven't refilled it, because I actually used that kit as a make and take at a crop and almost didn't have enough. So, and I have not rebought the kit, but I know it was the inspiration for this card anyway. All right, there's my little strip on the inside, okay? Now I've gone ahead and I've cut out all my flowers, and I've pretty much assembled a lot of them, and my leaves. So you've got the pink flowers here, and so I did Bubble Bath, right? Bubble Bath is my base, and Berry Burst is my top. So those are kind of like my light and dark version of those. I have Lemon Lime Twist with Granny Apple Green on my leaves, okay, and I have already mounted those and glued them together. I cut out the branch here in Early Espresso, but I wanted to show you what I did to the flowers. So I grabbed a sponge dauber and I grabbed the Bubble Bath, and I did put on this, I did a little edge. So I came in with my sponge dauber and I just went around and gave it a little bit of darker edge on the edge. This gives your flowers so much depth. So if you wanted to do this, and this is another thing that you can be doing with some of those paper pumpkins. I know a lot of people say that, it's different when you get the paper pumpkins, the cutouts and things like from the ephemera packs and all that stuff. They don't feel that it has the same depth as when we stamp and when we do different things or color or blend or any of that stuff. That's something that you can do, is just grab a sponge dauber and put some ink on the edges of all your ephemera and die cuts, and it will definitely give it some depth. All right, and then I went ahead and I mounted my little centers to my pink flowers, okay? I even was having issues with the glue earlier. I was like, it was like it was coming out on its own. It was, it was driving me crazy. I don't know what was going on this afternoon, but I was definitely having some issues with just about everything I was trying to do. All right. Thinking of you, whoops, I got a green leaf stuck to my stamp pad. Thinking of you is such a great sentiment because you can just put that on the outside, thinking of you, and it can be thinking of you on your birthday, thinking of you in this time of sorrow, thinking of you pretty much covers the gamut. Okay? Let's go ahead and build our little branch of flowers here. Let me grab, hey, Miss Elizabeth Linsky. Long time no see. Thanks for stopping in. All right. Great color combos. Fresh Freesia with Moody Mauve is a good one too. See what I mean? My glue is just coming out like crazy. I don't know what's going on here. But you're just going to need a few little daubs there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my branch kind of up this side of my card. Hold it down for like that 30 seconds. Okay. Thinking of you is just laying flat over here in this corner. These guys are all going to get dimensionals on the backs of them. Oh my gosh, that's funny, Chelsea. So Chelsea and Gary have a new dog, and her name is Ginger, and she is my grandpuppy. I have lots of grandpuppies. Doug and Emily have Abby. Mariah and Sean have Ruby, and now Gary and Chelsea. Well, Gary and Chelsea used to have Abby, too, but they had to put her down a while back, and so now they have Ginger. And so Grandma's been smart. She's put snacks in her truck for Ginger. So when I go there, I have snacks to offer. But she's a beautiful German Shepherd. All right, now we're going to add in our leaves, and I'm going to, that was good. Bet you I couldn't do that again. See what I mean? I'm telling you, today has just been, one of those days. All right, let's flip these all over, and we're going to put a little glue on the backs of all of them, and then put my glue away, and then maybe I won't get it all over the place. Do you think that'll work? I don't know. We're going to try it anyway. But for some reason, my glue is coming out on its own. I don't know what's going on with that. We're going to spread it around here. This one here's got way too much. All right, let's put my leaves in. Oops, I get a little flicker of the power. Mr. Green, when he came home earlier, told me that there is a tree on our way in that has come down, and he said he was really surprised that we had power because there was a cone with the power lines laying on the floor. So anyway, Chelsea's saying that Ginger can hear me because they're watching. And so Ginger's like, hey, how come I can hear Grandma, but she's not here? Which is usually why Max comes up here, because he hears me talking, and he's like, who is she talking to? All right, let's put these leaves. So I kind of did, so there was like 2 leaves. I know I went a little crazy. I did 6 leaves, which I don't usually do. You guys know me. I usually do the odds, but I did do 6. Because I wanted it to look like 2 leaves coming out of each blossom here, or around each blossom. And then you have the 3 blossoms, so that makes 9. So it's still, you still have the odd, okay? So there's that. Then I grabbed these, and I did 1 gold one in the center of this guy. I'll flip this over, and I actually did 3 gold ones in this one, but we're just going to do 2 in this one, and we're going to do 3 in the top one because I'm running out and I don't have another sheet of these. And at this point, I won't be buying a lot of bling because I'll be waiting to see. Then I took the pink ones and I just put some pink ones here, there, and everywhere where there was some of these bigger spots of the Berry Burst. I won't be buying that many embellishments until I find out what ones will be carrying over. When I get my new catalog. All right. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to stamp your envelope and you're going to go kind of crazy. But I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to clean up my mess here and show you all my fun samples for tonight. Yes, she is 9 months old and she bounces. She doesn't walk. She bounces. But it's all good. She's a beautiful dog. She just has the most beautiful markings for a German Shepherd, I think. She's got a beautiful face. She's a very pretty dog. So, and then there's my grandpuppy Ruber. That's Mariah and Sean's, and she's a German short hair pointer, and she's a doll too. She's just, they do hunting and stuff with her, but she also gets very excited when she sees Grandma's truck coming because she knows Grandma has treats. They all learn very quickly that Grandma has a treat bucket in her treat bag in her car or in her truck. All right, where to do the envelope for this guy? Here's my envelope for this one. I'm so happy with that bee. I think that's so cute. All right, and then we have this fun one with this fun envelope. So we'll put this over here. And then we have that one in the beginning with the fun envelope with that one. All right, and then let's bring my camera back as far as it'll go. Ooh, I guess it doesn't come back much more. Let's see if we can get them all in. What do you think? There we go, guys. All right. There you go. So we'll turn that over so it doesn't distract you from that. So go ahead and take a screenshot if you want to see those were my samples for tonight. I'm sorry I was all over the place, but but it was just kind of a crazy day for me. Hey, Miss Stacy, thank you. Yeah, so anyway, March is National Craft Month. If I can interest you in getting into paper crafting, I would love to host an event at your home or mine. If you don't mind coming out into the wilderness, my home is definitely, I am out there. But I would love to hold an event here if you'd like to have a couple friends over and we could get together and make cards. I do have an in-person card making thing coming up on my calendar in April. There'll be more of that to come. This month's Paper Pumpkin, I showed you the one that, but this is the one that we're ordering now. So you have till April 10th to order this one. And it has a fun add-on as well. I love these little add-ons, and I think these little dies are just going to be really great for you to have. And my goal is to make some more alternates using the stamp sets and the dies that come with the kits. So more to follow on that. And I think that's all I got for you. So check out my calendar. I'll be working on my calendar in the next week or so for April, getting some dates out there and getting some stuff out there. And thank you guys. Thanks everybody. Hi again. Hi to Stacy. Thanks Betty for stopping in. Sandy, Chelsea, and then the gals that were back in the beginning, Patricia and Kelly. Hopefully you're still here. Hopefully I didn't bore you or get you all over the place and crazy. So when is your class in the Boondocks? I have to look, but I think it's going to be a Wednesday night. Or a Sunday afternoon. I'm going to do a Sunday afternoon for people who don't want to drive out here in the dark. And I'm going to do a Wednesday night. When you come, it'll probably be daylight, but when you leave, it'll probably be dark. So, but I've been driving it for almost 2 years now, so it doesn't seem so bad to me, but I know for some people it can be a little intimidating. But I'd love to have people come and make some cards with me. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. I made myself a quiche, and because the girls are laying eggs again, so I'm very excited about that with the price of eggs. So I'm going to have quiche and salad for dinner, and I just heard Mr. Green come in, so we're going to have some dinner, and yeah, so I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for watching. I'll bring you back to my samples underneath there. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, hopefully we'll be stamping together real soon. Thanks.